What's up, tubers? Tio here, Simplistic Fishing, coming back at you tonight to continue our lake breakdown series for Lake Nickajack. This time, we're going offshore. We already covered the Google Earth stuff. Again, if you missed that, just go look at the lake breakdown playlist. We have it out there, but now it is time to go look at the offshore goodness that is all over this lake. Let's go check it out. Well, here we are using the Navionics mobile app, and what we're going to do is we're going to jump in here to Lake Nickajack, and we're going to look at the offshore hotspots for this lake. There were a ton of offshore hotspots around this lake, lots of different options, humps, ledges, high spots, where bridges are, all kinds of good stuff, creek channels, stuff like that. So let's go ahead, jump into this thing and talk about it. Now, if you missed the lake breakdown earlier, we've already gone through the Google Earth side and marked what we could find from the satellite imagery. Now, there's not a ton of stuff on this lake that we could really find on the satellite side, just because the water doesn't fluctuate that much. Now, we did find quite a bit. We had 2 full videos, I think, just on what we found. But now it's time to look at the contours on this lake and really see what we can take advantage of. So let's start down here by the dam. And what we're going to do is we're going to work our way up the river all the way up to the dam. So let's just start down here and let's talk about some of these areas in here. I'm going to zoom in here so we can see everything. And what we're going to do is we are just going to talk about some of this stuff that we marked here. So first off, when we look over here on this side, on this left-hand side, one, you've got the corner of the dam, which I got to bring this down a little bit. You got the corner of the dam right here. These are always, really good areas to fish. That is just, it just is. I don't know why they love those little corners, especially when you have little flats like this, which this is a 24-foot flat. So pretty deep flat, but a pretty good flat going there. The other thing I want you to notice is right here where you see these railroad tracks. So there could be some old debris, a submerged railroad, something like that, which looks like is there. You'll definitely want to take advantage of. And then inside of all this, you've got all these really unique areas. Like you've got a little point that's right there. You've got this little cut in that's right here. They love this kind of stuff. You've also got the edge of this hump that comes out here and tapers off. And this is kind of more the outer edge of it. You got a nice little point down here as well. You've got this really nice high spot that's right here. And notice how these contour lines are really, really tight together. Well, that just means that there's a huge break going on right there. So you've got this nice flat top with this point, and you've got this massive break that's going off to that side. So they're going to collect up around this stuff, especially these railroad bridges. Here's kind of the rest of that hump going down here. And then what you see here with this blue spot, this is a submerged culvert. And those can definitely be good as well. You get those little pinch points where they can hide from the current, ambush baits, all that good stuff. This is all really good. And notice that railroad track, it basically goes from the dam all the way pretty far. I mean, you can see it goes way far. So you can always kind of go to that area and you're going to have that high spot and that drop, and you're going to find key areas all along where that little ridge is from that railroad. They're probably going to be really, really good spots. So let's dive in here just a little bit more. Let's go back to this backside so we can talk about a couple other things we marked here. One, we've got this nice flat little top that comes up here with a good little point. Looks like you might even have a little creek channel that comes through there. If we zoom in, you can kind of see how it looks like you see the dotted lines. Hopefully those dotted lines are creek channels. And so basically you're getting off the edge of this point and fishing right around where that creek channel is. That can be good. This can be good right in here as well. And then there's several things here. We couldn't mark every single thing for you on this lake, or we'd have a billion waypoints out here from all the different really cool contours. But back here, this looks really good as well. You got a really good little flat spot up here with a really good ledge. You got a creek channel close by it. Also, we didn't mark them, but these out here, these humps, 17 foot with a big drop. It's got a creek channel out here. This has a creek channel coming on both sides of it. And this is a hump that's probably about 25, 26 feet. So you could check that one out too. So lots of good stuff back in there. Now let's move on up. We talked about those railroad tracks. We got to that first submerged culvert. So let's talk about what else is here. Here we got a submerged bridge that's over here, or possible submerged culvert. It looks like you got some rocks that are right in here as well. This looks like a really good hot spot right here in this area. You've got a really good ledge here coming off the outside of that ridge or that hump that's there. And then if you follow this down, this would be your creek channel, right? And you'll hear me talk about it a lot on these lake breakdowns. Just follow the creek channel and just fish the bends. So boom, there's your bend, there's your bend, there's your bend, and there's your bend. And those can be very, very productive spots. Let's move down here and see if we missed anything else down here. We've got the end of kind of the railroad track. Looks like it ends right in here. Something's going on here. This looks like a road bed that comes out here, this blue line. So you've got a road bed that's intersecting with the railroad tracks on a high spot that's probably about 18, 19 foot, somewhere in there. So this could be really, really good. And these red squares that you see here, a lot of times those are old foundations. So you've got a lot of cover and debris that could be right here in this area. Again, you've got another submerged bridge that's down here. These causeways are always great places to fish. Fishing on the corners of those can always be good. We talked about up here fishing those those creek channel bends. Let's go back. Let's go underneath this roadway, and let's just talk about some of the stuff that's back here too. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so we can see it better. But let's go over here to this side. And over here we've got a submerged bridge. This one looks really good. Another submerged bridge, those can be just fire spots. You've got some unique little humps that are out here. You got to kind of zoom into them to find them. But when you find them, like right here, this hump comes up to 16 foot. It's totally different kind of than everything else. And it's somewhat isolated out there. So that could be a really good hump. Could be nothing too. Definitely something to look at. You got another high spot that's right here as well, 14 foot. And then over here, it looks like this could have been maybe an old pond or something possibly. And this might be the old pond dam. So you definitely want to fish on each sides of those and see what you can find there. All right, so let's go ahead and pull out of here. We're going to come on up. We're going to get out of there, and we're going to look at this little area right in here. So again, we've got the old railroad, right, that's up here. And you've got that really awesome, river channel coming through here. So you got massive ledges going on pretty much throughout your whole entire lake here. But here again, just pointing out, you've got the railroad bridges, the high spot. These are some really, really high spots. I mean, they come up to 10 foot or so. So look for the areas that have rock in that, any kind of debris, things like that. And also any of those cut-ins. Those are going to be really good spots as well. But if we zoom in here and we come down here to this side, you're also going to notice there's like this little high spot right here. It comes up to about 16 foot. It's a pretty big, high hump. But on the outside edges of those humps, that's where you're going to get those really good breaks as well. They like to set up and come up here and go down, come up here and go down. Maybe not in this area, but definitely something I would go look at and take a look at with the side image and the down imaging. And then if you come down here, you're going to notice there's some double dotted lines. You might not even be able to see them on YouTube, but they're right here. And this is coming really close to this point that's over here. So this point comes out, it's about 20 foot on top, comes out to right in here, but it's fairly close to that creek channel. So that's why we marked that one as well. Let's move on up, see what else we can find. Here we go. We've got another submerged bridge up here. You've also got those creek channel bends. We marked those as well. You got an interesting thing coming out here. You've actually got this little hump that's out here, and this one comes up even higher. It's about 10 foot. What's interesting about this too is you've also got this little creek channel, and it's coming down right through here as well. So this could be one of those little sneaky spots. Definitely, check this out, or check out over here too. Both those areas could be good. You've also got a little point that comes out here with a good little break there as well. So let's keep moving up. We're going to go up here, and I'm going to zoom back for a second and show you where I'm at. So we covered the baseline, kind of the bottom half of Nickajack there on this side. And now we're going to just work our way up the river channel here and see what else we can find. And there's going to be some spots where we didn't really mark too much, but you're going to hear me talk about this stuff a lot. And that is finding where the river channel comes in, find where the channel comes in, and right when it starts to taper off, that little spot right there at the end is always really good. And then here, what you've got here is you've got the river channel coming, you got a big bluff wall. But if we zoom in, you've actually got it coming a little shallow right in here. So this spot right in here could be good too. That's kind of the first point that river channel hits. It's definitely going to be a good spot. So either side of this point could be good for sure, and I would definitely check it out. All right, so let's move on up here, getting closer to the highway that's up here. Come up here. We're not going to see as much, too much on this side because we're getting more into river channel stuff. But again, this is kind of the same type thing, right? River channel's here. You've got this little flat area that comes off right here. And I really like this. It's deep here, high, and then deep again. So definitely right in here. You've also got around this running water creek light. You got a nice little hump that's out there. It's fairly close to the creek channel as well. And then as we move up and we get closer to this bridge, you're going to notice this little cutoff creek that comes through here. And you just got some really good bends. We marked the points on those bends and the turns. So you definitely want to scan those whole areas in that area. Those could be good. And then, of course, anytime you're over here by the bridges, you want to fish those. And then there's another submerged bridge as well, or submerged culvert. So let's move up. We're kind of between these two highways now. And I'm just going to point out a couple things here. One, of course, you've got every time you find these little lights that are out there, they're almost all on these little humps. So there's a little hump that's out there. There's a railroad bridge that's out here too that you could go explore as well and see if anything's to those. And then as you're following that railroad bridge, there's a submerged culvert that's there as well. And then when you get back in here to this little shallow kind of flats area back in this corner, you've got some pretty good drops that are back here. And you can see, I mean, it goes 5 foot, 7 foot to about 15 foot. So real big breaks right in this area. And there's also, I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's a little fish, little icon there. That means that there is a Tennessee Parks and Wildlife fish attractor over there that you guys can take a look at as well. All right, so let's move on up here, see what else we can find. Good little point here coming off this causeway. Here's the creek channel coming through here. So it's swinging really close to that point. So right in here, and clearly anywhere right in here in this little pinch point here. And then that submerged bridge could be good too. So you'd want to check that out. All right, so let's move on up, see what else we can find. I'm just east of the Marion County Park, if you're wondering where I'm at. So now I'm going to zoom in here. Looks like I got some kind of walking bridge or something. I don't know what the heck this is, but we've got a little hump that's right here. Here's your railroad bridge, your railroad that has that ridge. And then here is another submerged culvert. And then these little pinch points right here, we've got it marked. You can see the fish icon plus our mark. That's a good little spot right there you want to look at. You also want to look at over here by the bridge. There's another hump up here, and there's another one right there. Let's zoom in there real quick and show you those. You can see those really good high spots, and they're real close to that bridge too. That just looks like a juicy spot to go take a look at. All right, let's move on up, see what else we can find up here. Not too much going on here. Got a submerged bridge by the railroad. You got a little rock pile that's here that we marked for you guys as well. You got these points that come out. I don't know if those are docks or points or what, but there's a point underneath it. If it is a dock, there's a point underneath it. So get out off the edges of it and see what you can find. This is interesting. This is a dry creek bed, it says, but right here just runs right into there and just kind of disappears. So check out that little area right in there. Okay, let's move on up. Now we're by Gage Reeds. We're where Hales Bar Dam. Oh, did I go too far? Oh man, I think I just jacked ourselves up. So we went here, we went there. We talked about that. We talked about those. Let's keep going on up. And we did not get here. So let's go in here and talk about this area. We got the submerged bridge that's right here. This looks good. Notice all the little fish icons here too. So something's going on in this area. You've also got the railroad bridge here. You've got those red things that are usually those foundations. And you got a nice little ledge that's over here too. So pretty interesting little spot. I mean, it's a big area to scan. You probably want to start there and just scan that whole area, but definitely something to take a look at. Then let's go ahead and go up here. Let's get a little bit further up. Let's talk about this. It's right in here, right around where that light is by that dam. That could be pretty good too. I can't tell what this is. I don't know if this is like a man-made structure. I have to go look at it on Google Earth, but possibly looking out the outside edges of this stuff. And then also if you just kind of come in here too, I don't know how close you can get, but you got some pretty interesting little breaks that are going on around here too. Pretty deep stuff, but there's definitely something there. So go check it out. All right, let's keep moving up. As we move up here, this is where I talk about it. Just, you kind of start to lose some of the offshore stuff because we get kind of more river system, but definitely the back side of these little islands back in here, getting up here on these little flat areas and see if they're up here feeding. Notice little fish icon there. Over here, you've got a nice little break that's happening right in here. So that channel's kind of coming through there and you're causing a little break right in that area. That could be good. And the front side of these islands are usually the best sides of the islands. So you'll definitely want to look at those. You got a really good break that's going on right in here. And then up in here, there's no telling what you could find up in here, but I'm sure there's some good stuff where those bass can get behind some rocks and stuff like that and just let that current just bring them food all day long. So definitely go check those out. All right, we're going to move up a little bit more. Nothing too crazy here. Just a couple key spots where you've got some pretty big flats, 5 foot, and then huge drops, huge breaks. Kind of the same thing here, kind of tears down, but here's your next break. So just some things to take a look at there. I'm going to zoom back a little bit. We're coming up here. We're getting around this big turn now. And again, we're staying on this side of the river, right? The south side here for this. Again, another good little shallow break, 5 foot. You've just got some really good ledges going on right in here. And you almost have to go up here and just kind of scan around and see if they're relating to any of that stuff. But definitely it's something to go look at. So let's zoom on down. And as we go down here, again, we're not going to find much, just massive ledges. You got timber here in some of these spots, some more timber right there in that spot. You got some buoys and stuff, real good channel swings. I mean, if I was forced to fish in this area, I'd definitely look right in here too. Notice how that river channel is right here and it swings up to these little flat areas. So I'd look like right in these little areas too, for sure. So let's keep moving down here. Kind of just the same type thing, just some shallow areas. You can kind of see you got some stumps and stuff over here. This is definitely the shallow side. So we're not going to find as much offshore stuff. But right here, you got a little feeder creek that comes in. So you got this feeder creek coming down here. This could be an interesting area to go look at. Definitely if you got some fresh water coming in as well. You got good current coming down here as well. Just nothing too crazy here, but definitely a spot that I could see that fish would be attracted to. So we're up here. We're now by Kelly's Ferry Light. Come up here. That's a submerged bridge. Now, sometimes, in fact, I had this happen to me on Table Rock. I went out there. It said there was a submerged bridge there. Then I go out there. There's nothing there. So I don't know if there's a submerged bridge here or not. It says that there is. So definitely go check it out. If there is, I'm sure there are some fish that are collecting around that. They love that kind of stuff for sure. Then we're going to move on up. We're up here by the Savannah Light now, it looks like. Just kind of pointing out some interesting stuff. Nothing too crazy here, but some pretty good little point that's right in there, that area. We're going to move on up. Got some interesting stuff in here, but I just didn't know what to mark for you. Nothing really stood out from a contour perspective. We're going to move on up here. We're going to keep going. I know it feels like I'm going forever. I'm going to back out as soon as we get up here. Another good little, couple of good little flats right in here. So this could be interesting up in here from a shallow side, but I'm sure we already marked that for you. A good little point, could get some kind of current break going on here, especially with that river channel coming down through here. So definitely, maybe fishing around that point, looking around this area, see if they're collecting up in that area at all. I'm going to back out, show you guys where I'm at. So now I'm here. I'm going to zoom way up here, and we're going to come up here to the Suck Shoals. I always think that's a funny name. But when we get up here, this is another interesting place. Again, the river channel's swinging through here. It's coming up. It's getting a little shallower. Looks like you might have some rocks up in here too. So just look right in this area. Get really deep, 60 foot deep right here and 6 foot right here. So you've got something going on right in that area that you'll want to take a look at. We're going to move on up. We're going to go through these pretty quick so we can make sure we get this video done. But a little cut in that's right in there as well. We move on down this side. The other side's got some pretty good stuff too, so don't worry. We'll come back on our next video and talk about that. Some rocks here we wanted to point out to you. I'm going to zoom back so we can see where we're going. Here's where the split is. I'm going to stay on this side. Didn't see too much on that split side except for right there, and that's the same type thing we were talking about earlier, right? Where it gets river channels coming in and then it starts to get really shallow. That little break right in that area tends to be a pretty good little hot area. I'm going to back this back out. We're going to swing over here. We're going to get down to kind of this turn. There wasn't too much in here on this side. There's this little creek that comes in or river that comes in. So anywhere you get in those areas, those are always going to be good areas to fish as well. Same type thing here. Then we're going to move on up. And we're going to get all the way up here where it starts getting crazy again by the Ross Landing City Park. And again, the back side of this island could be good. The front side is definitely going to be good. And then anywhere around these bridges is going to be good as well. I'm going to zoom in here and show you guys. But just anywhere on those bridges, anywhere you can find current breaks and stuff like that, that's going to be key. And you got a lot of those areas that are up in here. A lot of good looking fishing stuff around all these bridges. I could probably spend a whole day just fishing right here. So definitely look in that area. It looks really good. And don't forget the front side of that island as well. All right, we're going to come over here. This is kind of a hidden little area. It's a little shoal that comes up right in here. You'll notice it comes up. The hump comes up to what, 17 foot or so. I could see this being a little sneaky spot, right? It doesn't stand out. It's not as obvious as some of the other stuff, but it's definitely a high spot that's out there that you'll want to go look at and see what you can find. Could be some rocks down there and stuff like that. Some more rocks right around in this area, little point that comes out. Then we're going to kind of go back to where we were. We got some little points here, nothing too crazy. Get up here. There's a little break that's right here, a little point I wanted to show you guys. That's right here in this area right here. So I like that as well. Then we're going to come up here, same type thing, right? Here's the feeder creek coming in. So fishing around the points around those feeder creeks are always good. You got another little interesting little point here. Look how shallow this is back here, and look how big of a drop that is right in that area. So I'll be checking out this right here for sure. See if I can find anything in that spot. Then we're going to just come out here just a little bit of ways. As we're coming out here, we've got 8 foot right here. And then we've got 17, 14 foot right in here. So check this out right in here. It's almost like a little hump that's over there. You got something going on right in that area as well. Same type thing. Again, more bridges. This is the C.B. Robinson Bridge. We move up here and we're actually up to the dam. So we're going to finish off. We did show some of this stuff on Google Earth because we could see when they weren't releasing water, we could see a good rock pile there. And we marked that. So that one looks really good as well. You've also got some other stuff that's down here. I don't know about fishing down there, but I would definitely, at least go check it out and see what you could find. And then up here, you've got this point as well. So that really wraps us up for Nickajack on the, south, I'll say southeastern side. What we're going to do on the next video is we're going to come back. We'll do the western side and the north side, and we'll go all the way back down to the dam on the south side and make sure that we get this completely covered. So if you're interested in getting these waypoints, don't worry. We've got them out there for you, simplisticfishing.com. Go check it out. Not only do we have Lake Nickajack, but we have several other lakes in the area for you guys to check out. We've done complete lake breakdowns on all of them, and we'll continue to do the videos for them as we move forward. So make sure to go check it out, simplisticfishing.com. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and we'll talk to you soon.